Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me for another episode of the MI podcast. So today we will discuss about edtech marketing. Over the last, I would say, 2 3 years since COVID, the edtech industry has grown quite a lot. There was basically a report from Global Data. So it basically said it did a research of in terms of the size of the industries, how much it's grown with respect to India. So it had mentioned that it was in 2021, $3.42 billion was the size of the edtech industry in India, and it was expected a CAGR, that is a compound annual growth rate of around 30% for the next 5 years. And accordingly, in the next, I would say 2 years till now, it has grown quite a bit. There was a bit of, I would say, downward swing also, because there were a lot of startups, who had invested quite a bit of money. We had heard of them in the news, and then, the business also came down a bit because it's a kind of a cycle. I mean, at the peak of COVID, it was, I would say, the edtech industry was the industry which had the highest growth, and then obviously it cannot sustain that much, right? So there has to be a point, then it comes down a bit. So it came down a bit, but I would say that's like a normal thing, and now you can see it's stabilized a bit, and this particular industry will continue to grow and provide a lot of opportunities for different kind of professionals who work within that industry. And as the industry grows, then you need marketing because then the competition increase. A lot of players come who want to be a part of this, get a piece of this pie which is there. um, with respect to India, the unique thing is that because of the huge population that is there, which is below 35 in this country, which is like projected like at least 70%. You would say that a lot of the educational courses, because up to say a person is 21, 22, you would say the normal, they would say, the education, higher education, and then any PG courses. But then also in 20s and people in the 30s, they are taking courses. They're active on EdTech to upgrade their career, right? With full-time, part-time courses, and we have seen quite a bit of these companies, startups in that domain who provide this kind of training. There are so many universities. I think every university, including the IITs, IIM and all, they have executive programs, right? Which is like something maybe even you can do virtually. It doesn't have to be like in person. So in terms of the scope of the industry and the amount of capacity that it just keeps on increasing, because everybody wants to keep upscaling, upgrading. And also in this industry, it's a lot of unorganized also sector is there, where you have tuitions happening of for small kids and all. Then you have some kind of small part-time courses or workshops, and also all this I would say would come under edtech per se, because you're kind of using technology to kind of get the bang for the buck in terms of your education and upgrading your skills as well. So a huge industry, and you need great marketing to differentiate yourself as an edtech player, as well as somebody like, say, even if you are like an online instructor, you take workshops, you teach people online, you need that edtech. So even a one person company happening, or a huge company like, you can say the biggest like is Byju's, and also they would require great marketing. So the biggest, if you see, there's so many huge um, unicorns out there, like you have Byju's or Simply Learn, Vedantu, and also edtech companies. So here, if I could just take you through some of them. I mean, these are huge. Like we see them in the, like Byju's had even taken Messi as one of the brand. That's the one of the biggest in general, not only a sports star in the world. and Byju's would have been as the brand was. That is how big that company has become. So you have Byju's, you have Unacademy, you have iQuanta, you have Trainer Central, um, Upgrade, then you have Next Education, then you have Leverage Edu, Vedanto, as I mentioned, and Topper, and Simply Learn. So these are like the top 10, and some of them you might not have heard of because then maybe in their marketing you're not kind of a TG for them, right? Like there are so many companies where we are not might have heard of because we are not part of the TG and we don't come across the marketing and advertising. Some of these companies are so big, obviously you can't escape in terms of seeing the ads because maybe they are in television or major uh, like in IPL also you've seen a lot of these ads. And also in terms of this industry, it's huge, and in terms of the capacity of its growth is enormous because it's education and it can be in any form, and you can people can come up for any a small workshop to taking a 3-year major degree also online or something through that, or it's like even hybrid models have come up for the same. So awesome. Let's go through some components of. So if you're a marketer and you're doing Edtech marketing in general, however, if you're doing a small course or some major player you have in the market, whatever it is, these are some of the basic components which are applicable for all. So firstly, you have your product positioning you have to do. What is a product is the course that we are offering, right? So how do you differentiate our course and what benefit it provides, right? So this has to be established majorly. How do we stand out? Because as I mentioned, it's a huge market, but it's very competitive. So how can you differentiate yourself? If I'm giving a particular course, suppose I'm providing a social media marketing course, right? How do I differentiate? Like, because you have to even understand education today, necessarily you don't have to even pay for anything. You can go on YouTube and get all your courses. So what is the proposition you provide? Like, is it, the lectures which are happening live that has more value than pre-recorded ones? You will have a direct interaction with a particular, let's say, a teacher out there, which you see, online is a little bit known entity in the market in terms of as a teacher or somebody very well known in the industry. So, what is that proposition you want to build? Through this also, I mean, I've encountered a lot of these long-term courses also. They provide that, I think, very good like a placement thing happening also, which sells a lot in India because let's be honest, like with limited means people are more interested in the outcome. You become more short-sighted in that sense, so you're catering to that market, so you have to directly tell them, okay, what is the value you're providing and what kind of placements and all these things. So whatever it is that you can provide to differentiate yourself, that is in your product positioning plan that you do. Next most important is your content. um, how does this content that you create, it would firstly your people are able to discover you, and then once they start consuming, they're part of your funnel, and then they be part of your course. So your content with respect to all the social media channels, um, your your YouTube channel, your collaborations with certain content creators or something, like whatever it is in it, your content marketing is one of the most important parts of your particular marketing plan with respect to an edtech player that you have. So this should be reviewed quite a bit. Or content strategy should be made with main focus is to educate, right? This is the education industry. We are just going to educate and inform. That's it. You can even have a bit of entertainment elements also. Like we have a lot of instructors who are quite interesting, but the core of it that's just a little bit of a decoration. The core of it is creating that your content which would appeal. So this would again come to what your course you're talking about, and interesting content within that you're providing in the channels that are viewed by your teaching. Then your SEO strategy, because a person who's just ready to take any kind of a course online would Google about it. So all the different keyword formats that are there from different locations, wherever the TG is, that has to be worked out. So SEO is important strategy to really nail, so that you get, because most of the time um, that is the thing that happens, that you go and Google that course that you want and you then inquire. So I would say within SEO they have in terms of the strategy, they have a lot of teams working for them, or agencies or something, and this is a very important part of your complete strategy always. Your social media marketing, going beyond just posting on a regular basis or just putting content out there, also very actively engaging with your audience, because you have to understand the education is more in, I would say, for 95% market is Gen Z, for the tech company, and they are very hyper social on their phones, and also you have to engage with them also, just not putting out content, but replying to the messages. WhatsApp marketing in last few years has come up quite a bit. So being active on that, and then providing that one-on-one connect also is important with respect to your social media strategy. Then you have your email marketing, how you are able to bring the people in your funnel, your different content that you create as per the funnel that your TG is in. Your email marketing, how it can deliver that. So active players in edtech, definitely even once a week also emails would go out, and they would be about the subject or the course or something you have inquired about, or somewhere or the other they got your your data. Obviously they are sourcing it also from a lot of companies or education institutes, and I don't know back end may how this would work out. That is very case specific, but you need to source out quite a bit of data, because being say a small or medium sized player, you don't have that much data initially. Like mostly the data should come from your content itself, but it takes time to build a significant amount of audience for, say, like for example, if you're giving ebooks, like how many people can you get in, say, a month, and also you have to have an initial base of people who you send your email marketing campaigns to. Then would be your influencer campaigns that you do, because as I mentioned, the main target 95% is just Gen Z, and um, they connect with a lot of influencers. I'm not saying celebrities per se. Celebrity campaign would be what the major players only would be doing that, because they are big players. At the end of the day, they can afford to burn that much cash on the marketing. But specifically influencers um, who have a good hold on the Gen Z, they have the attention at least. I won't say influencer really helps in a sale or something, in especially in edtech kind of product or any course kind of thing, but they would at least have that attention of theirs. So once they put out any kind of content which is specific to that your course or any kind of edtech program or anything you have, so you would connect with that particular audience. So influencer marketing is something which is used actively, and it's a huge field now, where from sourcing influencers to running the campaigns to getting the results, it is complete end to end. You do it yourself in an in-house team, or you have agencies or platforms for the same. Then a very important strategy is having events and webinar. Events would be related to more related to, I would say, offline events where you would bring this particular. At the end of the day, it's a very young PG. They would like to be part of events where other youngsters come. So you've seen these major players like An Academy, Byju's, and all. They have done these kind of events where they've called these thing. Even the major like concerts and all have been sponsored by these particular players. So I would say this particular strategy, event sponsorship, works a lot. And then your webinars, which is the, I think, the go-to strategy in any. I mean, you would have it one of your lecturers and all doing events, and also in terms of a webinar or something. So this would really work well, and it is, I think, one of the top kind of lead magnets that you can have in getting data also, and then doing a campaigns with respect to the same. And lastly, we have your public relation, that is PR activities, to talk about your company, and with various media sites, how you can get your courses covered. So because end of the day, like they say, there are a lot of educational, I mean, courses which is for children, and also the parents would be want to read more, and if there's more positive sentiment about it by they're being talked about a lot, that creates more credibility for your particular edtech channel that you have, basically. Awesome. So it's been a great session on edtech marketing. Thanks for your support for this particular my podcast. So edtech, I would say, is relevant for everyone, not only for, I would say, like you have an online site, you have online courses. It's for everyone. Like everyone today, you have can is a content creator, and then they monetize it by having webinars or having seminar, also meetups. I've seen a lot of these players, they go in major colleges or educational institutes and have these things, so treating like their own personal brand. So they're part of the edtech industry. So marketing it in such a way, or in a structured way like this, would enable you to get quite a bit of audience captured in that, and then they would be ready to pay for whatever your courses and workshops and all. Awesome. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your time. Until the next report, I'll see you. Take care.